Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects of the natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart, there may be an intense need, which is the moon to develop the positive attributes, connected with the north node position. If the north node is in Virgo, as an example, those positive attributes may be connected with being punctual, reliable, analytical, being able to discern, diagnose, being punctilious with details. It could be something with editing or proofreading, being really service-oriented, helpful to others. And the thing about this too is, it could also be something where you may be destined for some kind of public life of some kind, because the moon is connected with the public. And the north node, of course, is about our destiny, our future. And the thing is, if you have, say, if the north node is an Aquarius, it might be doing something with the public associated with computers or electronics or astrology, as some examples. Now, another thing about this aspect is that, the future, which is the north node, and the emotional needs, which is the moon, may be strongly integrated. And if the north node is in Leo, as an example, or say if the conjunction is in Leo and you have the moon in Leo, it could be future connected with entertainment or acting. It could be like circus performing, or the emotional need for attention, which could be the moon, moon in Leo, could be strongly tied in with one's future. And the thing about the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart could also manifest in the mother and family, which is the moon may figure, very prominently in one's destiny, which is the north node. If the north node is in Aries, as an example, that destiny, may be tied into doing something which expresses leadership prowess and ability, something with firefighting, the military, combat sports. It may be something with head, helmet design or speech pathology, as some examples. And the thing about this aspect as well is there also may be an intense feeling, which is the moon, like doing what needs to be emphasized in the second half of life, which is the north node. And especially if you're in that second half of your life, there may be more of that need, that feel like actually doing what is connected, with the north node position. If the north node is in Libra, as an example, what may be emphasized in the second half of life may be tied in with cooperation, negotiation, peace, being able, to collaborate with others on projects and endeavors, being able to compromise, find a happy medium, with things, finding some kind of balance and refinement as well, expressing intellectual sociability. Those are some things, as an example, which may be emphasized in that second half of life if you have the north node in Libra. Now, another thing too about this aspect is that people that you're close to home with, which is the moon, may strongly factor in, to the, the mission and purpose, which is connected with the north node. Now, if, let's say, if the north node is in Taurus, the mission and purpose, may be tied into just simply finding monetary, financial stability, having peace, doing something. It could be with art or some Taurian, field or profession. It may be something with geology, carpet laying, working as a pawnbroker, stockbroker, doing something with architecture, gardening, cultivation, art, as some examples. And the people that you're close to home with, which is the moon, say if the moon is in Taurus, could be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people, that are, that could be persistent, patient, persevering, stable, trustworthy, um, people that are reliable, those, but it could also be people that are, obstinate and stubborn as well. So anyway, now if you have the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart, there may be some destiny or being destined, which is the north node. Again, something with the public, and the thing is, as I had stated before, this could be something where there may be some fame or notoriety connected with this aspect, because again, the north node is about our destiny, the mission, the purpose, and the moon has a connection with the public. It may also be doing something, associated with the home, such as a home, type of business. If you have, say, you have the conjunction of Scorpio, it could be doing something with locksmithing or psychology or the occult, which includes astrology, out of one's home as a business. And also, too, if you have this aspect in the natal chart, another way this may manifest and pan out is that at some point in time there may be some need to confront and address issues, which is the north node. It could be with the chest, the breast, the ribs, the stomach, or the left or right eye, depending on gender, which is the moon. If you have the moon, say in Pisces, it could be some kind of blurry, type of vision, or it may be something where if there's some issues with the chest, breast, ribs, or stomach, maybe they're nebulous or unclear, or it's hard to diagnose, those particular, issues, as some examples. Now, another thing about this aspect is that unconscious side, the inner personality, which is the moon, may play, a pivotal role in terms of what you're moving toward, which is the north node. Now, let's say if the moon is in Gemini, as an example, that unconscious side, the inner personality may be one that's, adaptable, flexible, dexterous, being able to, having versatility, being multifaceted, being, articulate, eloquent, a good speaker. Those could be qualities that could play a pivotal role in terms of what, one is moving toward. As an example, let's say if the moon is in Capricorn, that you could say that inner personality, the unconscious side, may be one that's very structured, disciplined, consistent, ambitious, responsible, and premeditative, and those qualities can play an integral role in terms of what one is moving toward, which is the north node. Now, also, too, the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart can indicate that one is very intensely, emotionally vested, which is the moon, in what one is learning and aspiring to be, which is the north node. If the north node is in Sagittarius, as an example, a person may be learning and aspiring to be somebody that's very philosophical, expansive, jocular, jovial, being able to target a certain, philosophy or belief, as some examples. And and another thing too is that the moon conjunct the north node in a natal chart could also manifest in being able to be responsive and react, which is the moon, to things, can be prominent in terms of what, the direction, one is moving toward. If the moon is in Aries, It could be, responses that are very quick and immediate. Gemini can be the same way. If you're in a position that requires, quick reactions, such as, if you're doing something associated with crisis, or, working in an emergency room, or, those people that, somebody in a rescuing, type of position, people that have to be quick-witted, be quick in their responses. The response system can, play an integral role in terms of where your future is, or whatever it is you're doing. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay